It's just a continuous taking, and never giving back. And it became such a common theme that now it's just common sense. Welcome back to It Is Just Common Sense. I'm your host, Bella Vontes. I feel like this is a very special moment. We are officially on episode 5, which I am very happy about. I'm sorry for not coming out with a video on Tuesday. I'm going to be honest about that. I was very tired. I'm not even going to make something up like I was sick or something. You lie! You lie! No, I was just really exhausted. I was really burnt out. We have been just making content nonstop. We have been getting some things ready for the month of June. We gotta talk because something is very, very wrong here. So I'm on X, like usual. That is where I get most of my sources on what is trending, what's going on, what's the hype, you know. Just go... That sounded so uncool.
That's cringe. You're cringe!
I was expecting to see the crazy lefties. I was expecting to see something crazy with Trump, which happened recently. And every single post that was on my For You was about money. And no, I don't mean financial advice. Sorry, Dave Ramsey.
You're in debt. You're broke.
No, I mean that the outrage about high cost is just getting crazier.
I'm stressed out! We should not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even pay bills, bro. Why is gas $5 a gallon? And like, why do I have to pay rent? And why is rent so high? And why do I have to drive my car and get the gas that I have to get to go to the job that I have to pay for rent? Why do I have to do all of that stuff?
I'm the only person that is sitting in their car right now after being in the grocery store and just realizing that the math is not mathing no matter what you do. No matter what I cut, no matter what I put back, no matter what I...
Yikes.
It's really heartbreaking understanding that these are the times that we are living in. And I'm going to be completely honest about this. Most of the complaints that I have heard are from Democratic states, which I'm in a Democratic state. I am also hearing a lot of these complaints. I am also feeling a lot of these complaints when it comes to higher cost. The thing is, no matter where you are on like the money spectrum, it still sucks that prices are going higher. It sucks when the economy is going under. And truly, I don't think that we have the right people in place in our states to help us with these issues. I think that this economic change is very intentional, if you ask me. I mean, we think about times like the 50s when cost was insanely better. And from there, cost just kept getting high and it never hit like back to a low. But then you think about this. What is the kind of pay at work nowadays?
This is goddamn.
The kind of minimum wage that we have nowadays, depending on where you work, isn't even enough for where you live. Sure, we can blame it on greedy companies. We can blame it to the federal level. We can blame it on all these other people. But let's just look at the people who say that are for us are doing with our money.
Prisoners in California prisons, trans prisoners, the ones that Kamala took such great pride in giving them what they wanted at the taxpayers' expense, they now get sent to beauty treatments. Beauty treatments for trans prisoners. Leg waxing, you name it. This is real.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse, which hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pied-à-terre tax is specifically designed for the richest of the rich.
Economic damage. I support this bill because at the end of the day, we have to recognize that the Haitian people who actually have come to the United States, they did go through a vigorous vetting process in order for them to get the TPS status that they have.
All over this country, we currently have over 8,000 fraud matters underway.
Like, what is going on? What is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. These people are wasting our money. They are wasting our hard-earned money. We wonder why we're not able to afford things. We're wondering why we haven't been able, with the kind of technologies that we have, with the kind of world that we're living in, that we don't have free Medicare, that we don't have, free bus rides, that we don't have all of these things that could benefit us as the American people, and why we're constantly in debt as the American people, when in reality, these jokes groups of people are spending it on stupid things intentionally. And all we gotta do is read it here. The Biden administration has faced intense scrutiny over the alleged fraud, particularly concerning COVID relief fraud, unemployment insurance, and immigration programs, which makes a lot of sense because when immigrants were coming here under the Biden administration, we were giving immigrants free healthcare, free iPhones, free housing. We were financially supporting them when we can't even financially support ourselves, especially in Biden's sense. But then, of course, there's more. In 2012, USA terminated funding for a $20 million project intended to develop a local version of Sesame Street in Pakistan. But speaking to these people, these so-called leaders that are leading our people into debt, I guess I wanted this episode to be to take the time to break them each down, to show you what they are doing in your state. Because quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not just sick and tired of it in my state. I'm sick and tired of seeing it in New York. I'm sick and tired of seeing it in California. I'm sick and tired of seeing it everywhere I look. Which, of course, we're starting off with the big one. Let's start off with Mamdani, otherwise known as the mayor who employs his people to shovel snow because apparently he can't get snowplows. Because what I find ridiculous about Mamdani's so-called initiative, I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this, but the people who have money, for instance, like Mark Ruffalo, yes, we are mentioning him again, and Zohran Mamdani, people who actually have money taxing the rich.
Flashback. New York rent is crushing people. Childcare now costs over $20,000 a year on average. All while Trump's policies keep making billionaires richer, while working families endure cuts to essential services. 60% of New Yorkers, like me, agree that we should tax billionaires and corporations to fund childcare, housing, and transit.
Hilarious and kind of ridiculous that you're relating yourself to the people, Mark, because in 2017, you sold your 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house in New York for $3.1 million, going on to tour a house that was like over $9 million, which you wouldn't do if you didn't have that kind of money.
End of flashback.
I know, it's absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, first of all, who are you to scrutinize the fact that people who made money off of capitalistic views and who aren't hurting because of this economy, you just want to push them down even further so they can hurt too? Also, I find it even more stupid that if you start taxing the rich in your state, they're just going to move to a different state. They obviously have the money to do it and they won't hesitate if it means it's coming in between them and their hard-earned money. Because what people need to understand is the separation of no matter what, no matter how much money you're making, you're still an American person. If it's a targeted attack at American people, that's sad and it's pathetic and it shows a lot about you, Mamdani. If you choose to keep all the money from fraud inside of your office and instead just tax people that are working hard for it. But then again, working hard, he wouldn't know anything about that. Then let's switch it up and let's just talk about AOC for a minute. Let's talk about the fact that in 2026, her psychiatrist payments of $19,000 of campaign funds. Then there was something called the 2025 turkey giveaway. Critics labeled the fundraising email as a scam because donations for a neighborhood turkey giveaway reportedly went directly to her campaign account. This is all coming from the lady who didn't want to reveal the names of victims of assault who were assaulted by people in Congress. But oh, how the list goes on of the fraud in Minnesota.
How much money was spent on 2017 for autism in Minnesota? How much?
I don't know. I wasn't the governor.
Did you not just say that you prepared for this hearing today? $1 million, okay? A quick Google search or using your AI could tell you $1 million was spent.
Then, guys, there's a very key figure. Recent allegations suggest California has lost between $180 billion and $280 billion of fraud during Gavin Newsom's administration. It just has to be the most disgusting and overwhelming amount of money that has been wasted. You want to know what's insane? They're shifting your attention towards these people who actually worked hard for their money. Meanwhile, AOC, Mamdani, Gavin Newsom, Ilhan Omar, Tim Walz, all these people are getting their money off the backs of hardworking people. Why? Because just because they have some kind of position of power, just because they have some kind of position of control, they use it to their own financial advantage. If anything, you know what? Maybe they are onto something. Maybe taxing the rich is a good thing. We're just looking at the wrong rich people to tax. But instead of overtaxing the hardworking Americans, I want to overtax the people that took away money from the American people. Believe it or not, I believe that every single American should be living comfortably, should be living in a nice house, should be able to afford a grocery, should have a nice job that pays the perfect amount for everything. But we're not going to do it by continuing to voting these people in. We are not going to do it if liberals keep taking office, whether that's for president, whether that's a representative, whether that's a congressperson, whether that's a mayor. Because at the end of the day, I'm not looking for somebody with personality. I am not looking for somebody that has the most rah. I am not looking for somebody with the biggest crowds. I'm looking for somebody that is going to make my country better. Make America great again. Yes, that is Trump's slogan, but that's not the reason why I believe in it. Truly, I love Trump, but that's the thing. He is not the reason why I believe that we should make America great again. He is not the savior of America. It is us as the American people that have to collectively work together. How are we going to do that? How are we going to work together? We need to take initiative when we see wrongdoings in office. We need to vote the right people in, not just some people that are handed to us. People, civilians that know the struggle that we can trust. Because after Epstein, after Diddy, after the frauds, after the scam, after everything that we've learned about, we're tired of something fake. What's crazy is that as great as Trump's strategy was, it wasn't him who got himself into office. It was the people who collectively come together and say, let's make a change. And we did. All of that fraud, all of that scam, even the Epstein list, that was us. We kept asking for it. We kept searching. We have not just assigned investigative journalists. Everybody's an investigative journalist now. The internet is open to us all. I don't think people realize the potential that we have in this generation. We have the potential now where we can start our own companies, make any kind of money that we want, because that's just how free we are. We have the power to express our own minds. We have infinite wisdom with just the swipe of a phone. There's so much potential, and the deep state saw that. Yes, guys, I'm going back to Conspiracies Bella. So instead of teaching us to utilize this great time that we live in, right now should be a golden age, economy or not. The kind of wisdom, the kind of things that are given to us right now, the blessings that we have of today, this should be a golden age, even better than the 50s. But what's holding us back is the brainwashing. Colleges that are meant to be higher education, they're not higher education anymore. John D. Rockefeller said, I want a nation of workers, not thinkers. What do you think that means? We would have a lot less economic crime, drug, a lot less problems if we just used our brain. We would have more control over our government. We would have more control over Hollywood. The end all be all of this episode is that if we want a better life, if we want a better future, if we want this generation to have it better than we did, stop with the brainwashing. Stop listening to these buffoons. Stop voting them in. Most of all, we as the American people need to come together and make this right. Because if we don't, who will? Peter Thiel?